Fear Luna, and I play games on the internet. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by, and if you've been here before, welcome back. Today, we're playing Ace Attorney Investigations, and I have a new sound alert, as you might have noticed. You can see Francisca up there. Me and Mean. Couldn't get the timing quite right, but I tried really hard. I know. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Oh no. Anyway, welcome in everybody. Hi Val, hi John, hi Marawaki. Welcome in. We're playing the video game, the funny game with the funny man. He's not a funny man, but I find him hilarious. We're back on this plane, y'all. We are back on this plane. All right. Off we go. Oh. Alright, now if you remember correctly, and you do, we were with Francisca, because she's like, there's no way you'll prove you're innocent, despite the fact that you definitely did not do it. But I care about a guilty verdict, not my arguably adopted brother. Oh, for crying out loud. Please behave, stream manager. Thank you. Ah. Nah, Val doesn't have to be specific. I know the stupid cartoon game they're talking about. It is a Roblox game. I do not play Child Labor the game, though, so, Anyway. Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? It is. Where are you going, Gumshoe? It's so big! This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first class seating. So is this the real scene of the murder? There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct? Yeah. Okay, let's get investigating, sir. Have you noticed anything strange happening around here? No, sir. Haven't noticed a thing. I'm not sure that he meant to sound so oblivious. Okay, this is obviously somebody's Hey, a missing suitcase! Hey, what's with that suitcase, pal? That's what the victim checked in, sir. So this suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we'd take a closer look. There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir. Wait, a file? And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. It looks like a profile on Francisca. But why did Mr. Hicks have documents on Francisca in his possession? Is he up to no good? Why would Mr. Hicks have a file on her? Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew. This sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir. By the look in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. I like that Gumshoe's just kind of like looking kind of sad and concerned. Because it absolutely... it absolutely seems like... You seem old, Val! Oh my gosh. You forget, I am practically a grandmother. I am more than I am more than 16 and therefore practically a grandmother. That's how it is. No, I know you're just being blunt. Roblox is a young man's game. It's not. It's an anybody game. You're fine. Are you just grumpy that you did not get to go shopping today? It's okay. You got Ace Attorney. You got this funny man, and Francisca's right here. Roblox is a game for autistic teens. Fair. Well, everybody seems grumpy tonight. I shall do everything I can to make people be more cheered. Or at least to replace some kind of, joy in the world. That's what we're here for. I went on an adventure today. Staff took me out on an adventure. It was very exciting. I came back with adventure things. I have new bags that I fit inside of, but also I cannot carry because I am way too small. But it's okay. Staff can do it for me. They can carry my things for me. And I found shrimpies that I'm not allowed to eat. They wouldn't let me eat them because they were still in the box in the freezer, and they said you're not allowed to eat things that are in the freezer like that until you buy them. And I said, why would you have to buy them? They're right there. You could just open them and eat them. And they said, no, you can't. They're not even cooked yet. And I went, why would you cook a shrimpy? And then they took me to a restaurant, and then they let me have shrimpies there. And they were cooked. And they were cooked in stuff. It was great. Highly recommend cooking things in stuff. It makes them taste good. Not that shrimpies don't taste good, they're delicious, but you can put them in things. Did you know you can put them in things? I knew you could put them in things like ramen, but I didn't know you could put them in anything. Wild. Anyway, suitcase. Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth. It's like an all-you-can-eat suitcase fair. These must be all the leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after this flight is over. This paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy. Oh? Why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness. You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200! I think I'll pass. And Ms. Tenero wonders why they don't sell. You'd need 2 jobs just to buy one. Although, it definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments? I know what those are from. I know what these are from. I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses. Well, and the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses lenses. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected. So you're saying, well, the real scene of the crime was here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. Okay, we've examined that. Flammable? All sorts of boxes are piled up here. This one says flammable, and this one... Oh, this one says flammable, and this one, it says pharmaceuticals. This one says for exorcism use only. Just what kind of operation is this airline running? Ooh, I just love pushing the buttons on elevators and crosswalk signals. Here, you should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it. The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, Detective. It can't move. Oh, yeah. I guess nothing would happen if you pushed it now. Well, nothing would happen normally anyway without the special keycard. Both the door to the attendance room and the elevator's control panels require a keycard, which makes it impossible for a passenger to come down here. Unless it is possible. Eh? Big! I didn't know that this plane was capable of carrying such large pieces of cargo. Nothing's as tall as 2 of you on top of each other, sir. It would probably take 20 of you to cover the entire surface of this monstrosity. What, really? Huh. Yeah, I guess that sounds about right. There's really no need to take that throwaway estimate seriously, Detective. I love that! I remember that! Oh! There's a reason that was in all the trailers. It was one of the funnier parts. Anything else for me to examine? Wait. I thought I saw... Well, I guess we'll talk to Francisco. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. I've been following a very large and involved governmental-level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Interpol is involved. It's a top-secret operation, so I really can't tell you any more than I already have. But I have a deduction I can make. I don't know if those actually do fit together. Maybe they do. Aww. You didn't technically encounter the enemy. I hate when that happens. I mean, there's not much else down here besides this. But, is this connectable? Why not? Okay, good enough. It should be connectable. Oh, your darn research on strawberry, man. We love a good strawberry. I love a good strawberry. Oh, yeah, right. I got my World versus World stuff today. Huji helped me get it all. We went on a little adventure. It was very exciting. Filled 3 reward tracks because I was almost done with one I was on, and it gives you basically 2 World versus World reward tracks. World versus World is a mode in Guild Wars 2. It is probably more accurately called Guild versus Guild now, but it is a PvP mode. Instead of the usual PvP where you have approximately 5 players on one side and approximately 5 players on another, and they fight each other over stuff for reasons, World versus World pits Alias against Alias against Alias. So there are 3 teams, green, red, and blue, and they each have their own place where they fight. There's a big, so they each have a home area where they can fight and have a big special castle. And there is a 4th map where we all fight over a big special castle in the middle. So it means that you get great big groups of people, like 50 to 100 people at a time, punching each other right in the face. There's a lot of fun tactics. The in-game explanation for it is it's called the Mist War. It's different versions of Tyria fighting each other. Tyria is the word that it lives, that we live in. And boy, is it exciting. We had such a good time today. I had a great time. Sometimes you can do a lot. If the enemy's not paying attention, sometimes you can do a lot with just 2 or 3 people. So you can take certain objectives really easily with just a couple of people. And boy, howdy, did we interrupt the heck out of their supply lines. And you know what armies hate? Having their supply lines interrupted. And you know what we did? We killed yaks. We killed yaks. We took camps. I did not flip Stone Mist. We tried. We gave it a good try. And like 40 minutes later, it got flipped by our team, and I was so sad. Stone Mist is the big special castle. Hi, Rice. Welcome in. I am telling tales of World versus World Rush, which I got all today. Hoochie helped me out. I'm an Anvil Resistance because I was Anvil Rock back in ye olden days. I'm very happy we got all of it. We didn't flip Stone Mist. Like I said, we gave it a good try. But I did so much murder. I have this really fun Necromancer build. This Reaper build that is a delight. Tanked VG! Nice work! Did you do a good job at tanking the Veil Guardian? It's like a bicycle, right? You learn how to tank Veil Guardian, you never forget. Definitely that's how it is. I should play more Guild Wars too, but I have so many things I want to play for you. Oh, that reminds me! I am planning something. A secret something. I do not know what day it'll be. Towards the end of, Halloween month. That's okay. Guild Wars 2 is a lot of fun. It is also free. If you have a potato, it is 12 years old, so a potato can run it. Like, you could probably hook a potato up to a toaster and get it going. On that, can it run Doom? It can probably run Guild Wars 2. That's how it works. Did you know if you imagine that you're playing Doom, then your brain can run Doom? That's how it works. Anyway. Doom runs on everything. Back we go. I got very excited, though. I filled 3 reward tracks because I was almost done my Gift of Battle track. So I've got 3 new Gifts of Battle. So many legendaries are going to get made when I get enough Mystic Clovers because I'm very poor in Mystic Clovers because I keep making legendaries. Yeah! I'm happy on my behalf. Clovers are the only thing holding me back, but I won't throw my Mystic Coins away because they're worth money. Will I sell them? Probably not even that. Yeah, see, Doom will run on anything. Anyway. It'll also run on graphing calculators. It doesn't like to, but it will.
Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Francisca?
Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir.
Francisca said that she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation.
Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks has heard she was coming here and he followed her.
Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, Interpol agent Hicks. I think Francisca has some explaining to do. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you?
Nonsense! What are you talking about?
We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol agent Hicks. Isn't that correct?
I should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. But it looks like they got to him first.
So, you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then?
Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. Ooh, an art dealer. Can I be honest? I used Texas Instruments all my life and never thought about once programming stuff into it. We programmed Tetris into it. When we were in high school, we got bored in math class one day, some friends and I, and we just programmed Tetris into all our calculators. And boy howdy. Boy howdy. Did we have a good time. Our math teacher was impressed. But you know how sometimes adults will be, like, impressed, but also, like, this is not allowed? This is so against the rules that I don't know what to do with you because you did a very incredible thing. You did sit here during math class and all your work is done. But you also all sat here programming your calculators to play Tetris. And we were like, right? And there was this long, like, she just kind of spent her time being like, you weren't disruptive, but don't do that. Exactly. All our work was done and we weren't disruptive, so she just kind of let us go. Because we all had very high marks anyway, and we were all decently good at working on that stuff. And also, she did spend a lot of time trying to encourage me especially to at least try to pursue STEM stuff. Science, math, tech, all that stuff. Because, like, she rightly recognized that I was a person who really likes to engineer things. And code and program and stuff. And was like, dang, you should do that thing. And I was like, I don't know if I'd be good at it. And she's like, you are good at it. Why do you think you wouldn't be? And I was like, I don't know, actually. I just never considered. And she's like, well, consider it. Oh, good! Paralegal's such a good job. It's a fun job. You get to help people do law. You get to help people with the law. I cannot get the gravel of Sylvester Stallone going, the law! But I promise you that I am trying and failing terribly. Anyway, back to this. We were playing a video game, weren't we? He went undercover to investigate this crime, and it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed, and never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think we now have plenty of definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. But what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ow! Welcome in, Sir B! We're learning that Mr. Hicks was really Agent Hicks, a secret agent. He's of Interpol. Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason, of course. Of that I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francisca, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? No. Unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed. I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases and they entered the elevator. But while they were riding it up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open, and Agent Hicks's body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. We did it! I'm a wizard! It's probably fine. I hate Hicks. He gives me bad vibes. As long as you don't hate the Hicks I'm thinking of, which is the one from Aliens, the best character. Well, he's not the best character. Ripley's still the best character. Or Newt. Newt! Newt's great! Val, you'd like Newt. I think you'd like Aliens. It's a very good action movie. I don't necessarily think it's horror. Alien is certainly psychological horror. Psychological creature horror. Aliens is more of an action movie. That has an action movie ending, which I appreciate because it does not seem like it should. And oh, sorry, Bishop also best character. Everyone in Aliens best character. Despite the fact that it is an action movie and not horror, as I was told it would be. You've never seen Aliens? Well, it's spooky month, so you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have an alien night where we watch the good alien movies. Alien and Aliens. There is no third alien movie. No, I knew. I'm doing a bit. I am informed that this is how you do a bit. Anyway, Aliens is great. 10 out of 10. We'll have to have a night of extraterrestrials, where we watch spooky horrors. Yeah! No wonder you're getting attacked by aliens all the time. Your things have movies named Aliens. Yes! We love aliens. We love aliens here. Except, you know, aliens be weird sometimes. Alien is a very good spooky horror where they did an excellent job with creature design. Aliens is an action flick. And after that, there's The Thing, which is a very different movie, but also about a creepy alien. There is, of course, Predator, but that is an action flick, not a horror. I mean, it's got horror elements, but it is still an action flick. It has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. Ooh, The Midnight Zone. Anyway. I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What? Really, sir? I know what you're thinking, Miles Sedgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Teniero. No. If it was a crew member, any of them could have shown Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is that the key card allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Teniero. I'd say that this is a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? Yeah, except that's not true.
I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that.
Also, why would a flight attendant kill him? Though, that said, I do think it was the older flight attendant.
Hold it. That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Meal or even the captain.
Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand, much like Scruffy over there. Ahem, Francisco! Hey!
I can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand.
Edgeworth! Why are you both like this?
Very well. Then what about the other flight attendant, Miss Meal?
Ha! I thought you might ask about her. But the point to keep in mind is that the keycard only allows the elevator to come down here. Oh. Wow, I super misread that. Oh well.
But it's highly likely that the keycard was stolen from Miss Teniero.
It's highly likely? Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father?
Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence,
Be quiet! You're a disgrace! There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Teniero, you know. It's not just the keycards that gives her away.
Are you talking about the murder weapon? The Captain Hugo piggy bank?
Yes! She is also the only person with the key to open the display case. Further, there's the matter of the key to the display case that held the murderous bank.
Actually,
did she add that?
but that's a fake.
Stop right there, Miles Sedgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that it's fake, then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and come up empty-handed.
There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? Shouldn't it be...
Is it the crime scene, or is it... Chat, what do we think here? Is it the crime scene or the piggy bank? We've examined the heck out of the piggy bank. And we know the body was blunt force trauma. People need to press charges on her for assault with a weapon. But also, she's pretty. I don't care if she's a model, that's still assault. I volunteered to take all of Francisca's lashes as sacrifice. Val! No. You cannot take all of those whips. The piggy bank's got blood on it. We know that he dipped them in. Oh, what? Why does she remind me of someone that is in one of my favorite games? I don't know. Who does she remind you of? What should we be investigating here? Okay, so there's good reasons for all of these, but I think if we can rule even just one of them out... If we can rule even just one of them out... then we can find, like... There must be something. Okay, we've looked everywhere in the cargo hold, right? Like, we have searched the heck out of the crime scene. The piggy bank has blood on it, so it's just gonna look like it's the murder weapon. It was very well crafted to do that. So, that leaves the body, but I don't understand why it... The Robot Queen? I've never seen the Robot Queen from Deltarune, for reasons. Oh no, a robot Val hates! Well, I gotta go fix that one up. Anyway, I guess we're examining the body. If we find a wound that's too big for the piggy bank to... Yeah, let's go.
Francisca, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions.
Oh, was I?
Yes. We don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon?
Scruffy! Yes, sir? Contacts the medical examiner's office at once. I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks's autopsy. Yes, sir. Her actual name is a serial code. Hey, serial codes are a cool name. Sometimes they look like letters. Sometimes they look like letters. We've got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
What is it, Detective?
They're still doing the autopsy, but they said they already know this one thing for sure. Report now. The doc said that it's one giant bruise from beating, from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back.
From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back? He was beaten over such a wide area?
Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Mr. Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. That's a big thing to bruise him with. Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that's,
Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective?
Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless! Yo! Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there. No! You remove yourself from my way. From my way.
What is that racket?
My luggage! My cargo! They're mine, and I demand you return them to me.
We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience.
I suppose there is no choice.
Finally, I think he get...
Hey, what are you? You have left me no choice but to use strong force. You won't get past me.
This is...
Wait, that's it.
So that's what this whole thing has been about.
Further, there's the matter of the key to the display case that held the murderous bank. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. Because they're... Oh! Because he was off the stairs. The doc said that it's one giant bruise from the beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. Oh! Yeah, there is. I don't know how to connect these things exactly. But I think I need to connect them.
How do I need to connect these things?
Man, it really... Can we connect this with the cause of death? Like, and be like, there's no way that does that? Because, like, there's no way. I think she looks like the task manager. Oh, that is a good name for... Fear, I've used my inner Edgeworth to put the pieces together to remember who she reminds me of. I think she looks like the task manager. That's delightful. I call him Poe because I can't help myself. Oh, Val, you've got plenty of entertainment until then. Let's try putting these together, because, like, there's no way. This has got to go, right? Like, how else am I going to connect these? She's basically the same color scheme, and they both have a whip.
Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger.
Oh, boy. I'm gonna try these first, but if this doesn't work, a sizable weapon and smuggling goes together for sure. Ta-da!
If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning.
Luna, have you ever splunked in real life? Not on purpose. I found a cave. There's a lot of places to find caves around here. Because, so the thing is that we have a lot of limestone deposits. And as you might have guessed about limestone and ocean water, when those two things come into contact with each other, one of them doesn't like it. And it dissolves. So we have a lot of caves around here, limestone caves around here. We also have a lot of mines. So anyway, I found a cave, but not on purpose, and that was pretty cool. It was okay, because there was like a clear and easy exit, and I didn't really hurt myself or anything. There's also lots of mines, which isn't really the same as splunking, going into like old mines and stuff. But it's very similar. Oh, and we have a really cool mine. It used to be a coal mine, but now it's a museum, like a coal museum. It's really neat. So I've been there a couple of times. I do not like being underground because you cannot swim in the ground. Did you know? Unless you are a street shark of Street Sharks fame. You cannot swim through the ground. I love those guys.
Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration.
Well, what was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here?
Francisca.
What? What you found?
I found it, Francisca. I found the real murder weapon.
You did? He really jumped.
We didn't realize it up until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time.
He might be hurt. We should go check up on him, sirs. There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit.
This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across.
Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening at all, are you? Come on, then. Show me this real murder weapon you speak of.
I mean, I don't think I have evidence to show.
It's too big. Edgeworth, for some reason, looks like a Roxel's card to me. Yes, Gumshoe was spending this whole time being like, okay, you guys are having an argument over there, but is that dude okay? Oh, a rules card. Okay, I get you. Listen, reading is hard. They're all dumb name plays. Val, I don't know if you know this, but the person who made Undertale made Deltarune too. And if you played Undertale, you know everybody's got a silly nonsense name. Gonna turn into Am with how much I hate. Well, let's work that out of you. No need to do all that. You'd turn a little guy into jelly? You'd make him a little jelly guy? You don't want to make him a little jelly guy, do you? Wait, what if the lady who's whipping Edgeworth, this is his younger sister? I will tell you that right now. Francisca is his younger sister. Is the murderer! Nah, that twist has already been used on a different Von Karma.
I don't have any evidence to show you.
Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show?
Perhaps I should have phrased that as that which caused Agent Hicks's death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I have figured out what was the real cause of death.
Free fall!
And I'm free falling. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground.
He fell to his death?
Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back, and the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death.
But the murder happened inside this plane.
I know.
Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from?
As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time.
You can't mean...
Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold.
What? Then... We're in trouble. We, may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey, you! Tell me you aren't dead, pal! Quiet! Why are you screaming? He's alive! And there you have it, Miles Sedgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that.
I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances.
The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean?
Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then?
Well, he would have been a Borginian pancake, that's for sure, sir. I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that this cargo box is there, so there's no point in entertaining your wild, hypothetical scenarios.
I really just want there to be an Ace Attorney game where Gumshoe is the person on trial. Only because he's a detective who always collects evidence, right? Who would be next in line to collect the evidence and escort you place to place?
Oh, fun fact, Gumshoe has been on trial before for murder. I want to play an Ace Attorney game where we play as Mia. Ooh, there is no such game, but that would be amazing. You know what we are going to play, though, later? We're going to play Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Not right now, but it is a good game, and it's a good game for, like, the sillier streams for Spooky Month. Spooky Month is going to have a slightly different stream schedule, y'all. So what's going to happen... what's going to happen with Spooky Month is I have a bunch of special streams that I'm planning for, especially for the last week, where we do spooky stuff. Some of those are probably going to be 2-player puzzle games, because I have a couple of folks, well, I have a friend to play with. I thought she was the murderer because the bruise looks like it would come from a long and painful weapon. That's fair. She do have that. No, we'll still do Inscription on Friday. Inscription still fits nicely into Spooky Month, and I'm bad at the card game. So we'll still have to. And I'm still gonna play Zelda. None of you can stop me. The void is spooky enough, I'm playing Zelda. But for a little bit, we're gonna play a couple of other games. I'm just not sure how I'm gonna go about that. I know you're good at the card game. It's because you understand the concept of holding back and waiting. I don't. I am like, I'm gonna hit you for it. Whatever it is, I'm gonna hit you for it. A game like Inscription does not lend itself well to my card game playing style. For those of you wondering what it is, if you've ever played Yu-Gi-Oh! Or understand the rules to Yu-Gi-Oh! My deck is a Hyperion deck. It is all focused on getting those agents out and getting Hyperion to the board and making sure that I have the field magic on the board to give Hyperion his second effects. And once I have that set up where I can just destroy cards for funsies because I feel like it, you better believe I'm just destroying your cards for funsies because I feel like it. My other style of deck is Gravity Bind Infinite Dismissal. Gravity Bind is a trap card that forces everything level 3 and lower, or everything higher than level 3 or 3 stars, to be unable to attack, and Infinite Dismissal destroys everything 3 stars and lower at the end of the turn. Because I want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I don't want you to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. And that's how I like to roll. Sometimes I do things especially funny to get, where I get out Patrician of Darkness, and a couple of other things, just to really mess with people. Double Command Knight is also a thing I'm fond of. So, I don't believe in defense. I believe in locking you out of doing anything ever. That's why I like to play blue-white decks in Magic. I don't believe in defense. I believe you should get a turn. If you never get a turn, I never have to change my strategy. Woo! It's great. White decks have a lot of things that make me gain life, and they also have a lot of things that make you have to spend extra mana. Blue decks very similarly have a lot of things that make you have to spend extra mana, or force you to have to do something extra in order to do anything. And I love it. Anyway, moving on from my natural deck skills. Oops. Oopsie doodle.
It may be there now, but there's no proof it was always here.
Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when that giant box was not there.
Ah, but there was.
What?
What can I use to show her that it's possible the box was not always where it is now?
The turbulence? Wait, hold it!
That's not the cargo hold, is it?
That thing is right chunky. I'm still gonna somehow connect the characters to Deltarune characters. Lol. Alright, fair. There must be something. No, it's not a profile. It's... Hang on! Hang on! Of course! It wasn't there because, like, I bet we transferred cargo. Yeah, transfer cargo and refuel.
Take that.
You refueled in the Republic of Shangfa?
Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zhangfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question.
Ah, it's labeled Zhangfa Express.
Correct. Meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zhangfa.
Oh, wait. Hang on. That's Pinyin. It's Zhangfa, isn't it? Yeah, that's Zhangfa. Maybe? Zhang? Ah, I can't pronounce anglicized Chinese words very good. Trying. I gotta sacrifice the stout. I have better cards than the stout.
Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time?
It would mean that the box was not here when the cargo hold when the Europe Zhangfa leg of the flight.
Making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible.
But your theory is still very far-fetched.
Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is.
Oh, I know.
My first order of business would be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail.
Begin investigation! And I will get you guys your big stretch! Okay. Big stretch! Ah! Big stretch! Oh, and we hydrate as chat demands! Now, I have been out all day wandering around. So, guess who I found a crochet pattern for? Leia, and it's like 5 Canadian though. Hey, guess who can make crochet patterns for dolls and things? It me. I can just do that. I have that power. Anyway, we're gonna do those squishy things that the Aminal Crossings always do. You know the ones I mean. Yeah, send it to me anyway. I could probably reverse engineer it, actually. I wouldn't, because that's not really fair to the artist who made it in the first place. But I probably could. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We did it! I'm a wizard. Oh! Oh, the enrichment cat has come to see me. She has come to visit. She is sitting comfortably. I'm not gonna bother her. She just likes to sit near me while I do things. Phoenix is Chris? I don't know. I think he's a lot more optimistic than Chris. Just saying. I would probably place Phoenix as, gosh, somebody else. Yes, I'm playing a mix of shorter and longer ones. I intend to play Exit 8 and Platform 8 as well. And depending on how good I do at them, those don't take very long. I am probably going to play a couple of We Were Here, because I have a couple of different We Were Heres. And they'll be longer streams hypothetically because I am bad at directions. And I have another game that I might play as well that is sort of like We Were Here. It's still a 2-player puzzle game. So that'll be fun too. Okay, back to investigating. Throw off the tarp!
This is a rather large piece of cargo. Oh, there's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. A leaf red statue. Never heard of it. Nor I, but all I care about is that we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime.
Well, then let's get investigating, sir. That's spoken Borginian.
Look here! Do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. Ah! Don't just rush up on me like that, pal! So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc? Of course it is mine! I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This Elif red statue is worth 10 million cents! No, maybe much, much more! Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents? I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that would make, Detective. Darn, how did you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year. Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place.
Maybe Mayafei would be Noel Holiday because they both give me the same vibe. Potentially. A 2-player puzzle game. Fair enough. I'll have plenty of them when I'm done here. Yeah, Val's beaten the game repeatedly. I haven't. 10 million cents is a lot of money. You simply need to move the decimal point twice, and you would come up with, I think, $100,000. I will say about Deltarune, though the game isn't really for me, and that's fair, it's still very good. I do like the Snowgrave route. I find that actually interesting. Yeah, okay, I've beaten it. I've beaten Inscription a few times. Hold it! Yeah? I find the Snowgrave route narratively interesting. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars?
Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer.
It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching.
Interesting.
Can we connect these? Can I just connect these? I feel like I could just connect these. Like, literally, this finishes the sentence. Mr. LeBlanc claims to have bought a valuable piece of art from Europe, but Agent Hicks was on the trail of an international smuggling ring. Let's go. I feel like this connects. I just found a picture on Google with Task Manager next to Edgeworth's sister, so my claim was right. Yeah, that tracks. I am big on those sorts of shenanigans. You're gonna explode. Oh, is it because you didn't get tacos? As we've learned, if I don't get tacos, I'll explode. We do love Gur. We do love Gur in this house. Gur's best to rub at. Aw, no need to be grumpy. I mean, I guess you can if you want. You don't got to, though. There's no law. I mean, there is law, but it doesn't apply to me. I'm a 4 centimeter tall octopus. It applies to me with respect to my treatment. Anyway. Yeah, that's right, staff. I learned what the law was. It's a bunch of rules you have to be following. 'Cause I'm an octopus. Are you sure about that, staff? I got 8 tentacles. I got a beak. I got no bones. I got eyes. And a lot of brains. And a lot of hearts. I am definitely an octopus.
If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Zhangfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake.
What? How dare you say my art is fake?
I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring.
Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here. Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Sinclair Blanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please, show it to assist funds. I can't read this. What does it say? It says, as plain as day, the cargo was put on in the plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Hedgeforth. Too bad for you. The statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in this certificate.
No, that's...
Which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting right there. We know someone else who can read Borginian.
I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself.
Humph! Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see that I am right. I don't think you are, sir.
This. I know I've seen this somewhere before. This is the Elif Red.
Oh, this is the Elif Red? It gives off such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. This statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled in the museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it. That is definitely not the real thing because it has red eyes.
I believe a closer look is warranted here.
I'll show you guys right now. The real thing has red eyes. See? That's why it's called that way.
So this is the infamous Elif Red statue. Hmm?
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something?
There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold?
Darn right it is! Wow, we did the math for it to be like 16,000 packets. I just found a picture of Rules Card's face pasted on top of Edgeworth's face, so that makes my second claim right. Fear, I wish I could be as blunt as you. I'm many things. Blunt is most of them. Listen, you've heard how I play card games. I hit things like with a club. I got a big stick, and I hit things with it. I wish I had a big stick to hit things with, actually, but Steph won't let me have any sticks. They don't believe in letting me have weapons.
Now how is this supposed to be a clock?
Man, where are you getting $15 ramen packs? My ramen is like 50 cents. Maybe 75. Whoopsie doodle.
These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think?
Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir.
I don't think you see what I'm talking about.
No, I do. But it's really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms out until I felt ill.
I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo?
Huh? Ah! Sir, they're red!
As I thought, this statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc.
What do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer.
The Elif Red. I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not?
It is the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago.
Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is going to be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but...
What is that? Sympathy? For what?
You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes.
That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you.
I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the ones in this photo.
Oh. Oops. Well. Why the sudden yelling? Now then. Oh! It is a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe. No! Oh, $15 for a case of 24 packs. I get you. Them Costco ones.
Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake.
Ah, fake!
I believe that even further examination will be required. Now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake, there must also be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhengfa. And I will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction.
Hey! Because it's on top of that.
What's this?
Statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth cover. Kind of resembles its owner's attitude in this sense. Ho-ho! I just found a picture on Google where Chris is next to Edgeworth comparing them. That makes sense because Chris has a very similar personality to Edgeworth. As far as I understand. What did you say now? Further, my clothing's hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It is too expensive for me to allow that to happen.
Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinate.
Why should I forgive? If the dress passes. Unless it is an expensive dress, you keep it. I keep forgetting this man's accent, and I don't know what I want to do with it, so I'm just gonna, like, wing it. Wait, can I... So this leaf red is a fake. That art dealer isn't looking too happy about it either, sir. I'll get to the bottom of this for his sake as well as mine. What have we here? It says Zhengfa Express on the cloth, sir. Something about it is tugging at the corner of my mind, as though something is out of place. Can I deduce on this? Can I deduce on this? Is this good enough? Is this a good enough spot? Nope. Darn it! It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Well, I got the... Ah, that's not possible. But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhengfa, there's no way that any part of it would wind up underneath of something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhengfa. But then what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why. To secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. And for some reason I also found a picture of Susie next to Maya Fey. Actually, that kinda works. Maya also really wants to help. Wait. Susie. Susie's the other one, isn't she? Dang, I am bad at remembering the names. There was boxes in front of it. Yeah. Susie's the dinosaur-looking one? No, I was trying to think of the one with the with the icy wizard powers. Can't remember which one that is. You know, the Snowgrave one. Listen, I don't know everybody's name. That's Noelle. Okay. Okay. There's only one reason why. To secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. But we could have just as easily inspected all of the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed. But he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall onto the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. Someone's forging cargo certificates? That's no good. Wait, it's in Borginian. It has to be what's her face? The sleepy one. She's the only other person on this plane that speaks Borginian. If it's not the art dealer and he's just as shocked as we are, then it has to be the sleepy one. Is Susie the one you have to be like, you have to warn that little red button guy about? Where you're like, please don't hurt him. Please stop hurting people. She will hurt you. Please don't make her. Love it. I guess the victim knew the real version of this was going to get nabbed, huh?
Yes. While this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board.
A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Shangfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler.
Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe-Shangfa leg of the trip, then there would have been height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death.
Officer! Move this statue immediately! I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Now! Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. Well, after moving the Elif Red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and there was a reaction. That means there's blood! We love luminol in this house! You gotta be careful with luminol, though. If you put too much luminol, you can really mess up, if you put too much luminol, or any luminol, you can mess up stuff like DNA evidence. That's why you take your DNA evidence first, and then you squirt luminol all over it. Or, if you can't see that there was ever blood there, you gotta squirt luminol first. But anyway, never mind that. Momo's kidnapping you for magic. We'll have fun with magic. I see. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot. Can we stop looking at it now, sirs?
It would seem that my deductions were correct after all.
I suppose it would appear that way.
The culprit cleaned out the blood well.
And how do you think the killer did that?
How did the killer clean up all the blood?
Why, with this.
The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess.
I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zhangfa.
Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover.
So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zhangfa?
There's no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zhangfa, then this becomes highly suspect.
I have to think this one's through because Meal's testimony. Wait, no, that's right. LeBlanc's testimony was questionable to begin with. Liminal is much more deep and dark blue compared to this, that's true. They light it up like this because on TV, they light it up to, like, glow super bright under black light. Which it does do, and it's supposed to, but it doesn't quite look like what we think of. But in the same way as radiation glows green, we think of that because that's what it is on TV. Real radiation generally glows a very weird blue. Like a very weird pale blue. It is a perfectly normal thing to find in a library. I love that skip. I don't know why it's skipped though. It's a perfectly normal library. But it is one of my favorites. Yeah, there's a skip, an SCP. It's a perfectly normal library. It has lots of things that perfectly normal libraries have. Like what seems to be a nuclear reactor. And which is perfectly normal for a library to have, of course. For those of you wondering, the whole point of that SCP, that skip is building that insistently makes people say, like, makes people insist that it's a perfectly normal library. I like it. Reminds me of staff. Because staff is all the time being like, this is a normal library, and we just happen to be attached to an aquarium. Of course we have a library. We do, marine biology. We would have a library of science things. Marine biology things. And they do! They have lots of cool books. It's neat. They even have books on loan. From places like Miskatonic. They got them from a university. It's all about science and stuff. It's neat. I'm not allowed to read any of them. Not fair to me, personally. Also, I do love SCPs that are just, like, a thing that's a little weird. Like, there's no horror aspect. There's no, ooh, isn't that spooky? It's just a thing that doesn't make sense. And, like, of course it gets skipped. It's so mundane and normal, but there's just one thing that ain't quite right. Like, one time I wrote one about a phone that calls 5 minutes into the future. It was discovered because people were using it to win the lottery. So, like, they would call up and be like, hey, can I order a lottery ticket? Like, they'd watch the lottery numbers get drawn and be like, hey, can I order a lottery ticket? Before the store had closed, because the store's getting the call 5 minutes ago. And they'd give their numbers and be like, okie dokie. And they just periodically win the lottery that way. And that was one of my favorite ones. Because I wrote it. I don't think it's still up there. I'm gonna level with you. I read Spamton's voice in like a carnival collar. Fier, you are the main attraction of the show. Like, I read it as one part a carnival collar, one part what I think a pop-up ad would sound like, if it could talk.
Recall Miss Meal's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zhangfa.
I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know?
She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but...
That totally contradicts the facts, sir! Why would she lie about something like that?
I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Meal herself.
Ah, yes, the episode about Garfield, like that, but it was a future mail paper. Yeah! Or are you just a little sponge? I'd be terrible at being a sponge. I am the opposite of a sponge. Like, I'm an octopus. I don't soak up water good. Or anything good. I am not the opposite of a sponge. She is still sleepy. And still doesn't have her shirt buttoned up. Or I guess it's just a little patch that buttons on over it.
Miss Meal. Miss Meal!
Huh?
Do you recall what you said earlier about when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zhangfa? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible. Because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Zhangfa.
Oh.
Ms. Cammy Meal!
Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did?
No one could make a mistake so large, Ms. Meal.
But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time.
This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well. Miss Meal, if you please, tell me about your alibi during that time span. From just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found.
Are you telling Maybe I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth. She is absolutely going to wake up as part of her, like, freaked out thing. Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. Yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. POV, the English version of this game, and I sure do love myself some grape juice for $1.99. No, she's very tired. So there are 2 flight attendants on this flight, right? There's Rhoda De Niro and there's Cammy Meal. And they work like 12-hour shifts. So she had only just got off work to sleep while we were investigating the murder. So she's working on about half an hour of sleep, which is not enough. It's not even enough for me. I'm an octopus. I need 1 hour of sleep. It's not even enough for me. Well, sure, but she's not one of them. That's for certain. I know. They're talking about grape juice instead of wine. That's just how this is. Because this game wanted to keep a PG rating, despite the fact that it is about murders and murder trials. But that's just how America is with the thing that I'm trying to say. Not censorship exactly, but that's how America is about that. So like, you remember how I sometimes talk about what my thesis was going to be, and it's that you can reverse engineer what a society values from what it finds acceptable and unacceptable to show children? Alcohol isn't allowed, because that's not for children. But people catching murderers is fine, despite the fact that there is a murder involved, because justice being delivered is important. And it's important to get children used to the fact that if you do violence, you will be punished for it. So you have to, in that case, show the violence to inform children that they will be punished, and then the punishment to inform children that they will be punished for it. So that's why we get a game that's all about catching murderers, where they still call it grape juice, even though, generally speaking, especially in other places, you might think that murderer is a thing that would immediately spike a game to PG-13 because of the violence. It's not blood, it's not alcoholic strawberry grape juice. That's the kind of deal we have here.
How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up! She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her.
I'm not pressing those first statements, but I have something. I have something for that last statement. You guys remember last time, right? You remember this statement, right? That can't be true. I want to show you guys why I think that can't be true. Because... doesn't this say 540? Yeah! Because remember, Miss De Niro, she took the suitcase back into the room, right? Where it is. Poor girl bought that. Let's press the statement first.
So you were alone the entire time, were you?
Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi.
Oh? Well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Miss Meal, there's a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony.
Huh? What are you talking about?
It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 a.m.
Oops.
Take that!
Well, sure. Your perception of certain things will be based on how you are brought up. That's just how it is. At a certain point, you have to sort of branch out and try to learn what you can about the way that other people think about stuff. That's one of the reasons why I took a lot of philosophy courses. Because I find it interesting and a lot of psychology, because I find it interesting to try to understand the way that people think about things and the way that people think about thinking about things. You made a deck in Magic! Ooh, is it a good deck? Is it a fun deck? Are you having fun with it? Did you do what I do? 25 land and everything else? I'll tell you right now, my object is always to reduce dead draws. If I'm making a deck, I want as few dead draws as possible. I used to make a deck around a specific strategy, but lately, when I make decks, I make them around, like, just have options. Have every option. Well, not every option, but, like, always have an option. It's harder to play for me, because, like, that's just how it is. But it still works. What kind of deck is it? Is it, like, is it a single color deck? Or is it, like, dual? You can play single color decks just fine. But most people have 2 colors. I've also seen people successfully play rainbow decks. I can't do it myself, but rainbow decks are wild. You put a little bit of everything in there. I want to play a sliver deck again. Slivers you control. Everything is slivers I control. Oh, like note Tezzeret. Has someone committed tax fraud or arson in this game by now? In this series, absolutely. And in fact, someone's someone's doing a burglary. Someone's doing forgery on an international level.
I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal.
Huh? A receipt? For what?
It's for the suitcase Miss De Niro bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m. Miss De Niro?
Yes?
Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness, so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Ms. De Niro, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct?
Yes. I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off.
And did you see Miss Meal there at that time?
No.
So, Miss Meal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.?
Why do they censor wine but not Miss Meal's outfit? They did censor her outfit in the original. This is the HD remaster? Remake? Whatever? They did originally censor her outfit. At least a little bit. You'll also find that, because they're being a bit more lax in that now, because, Nintendo of America and in general the perception of Nintendo of America and in general the perception of video games has moved away from complex children's toy in America to thing that sometimes an adult will play and thing that it's okay to have a T for teen rating for. In the old days, they didn't have that rating system, so if something was in a video game, then it had to be fit for children. But now that we have the rating system that we do, where we can say, like, this is T for teen, this is, like, E for everyone, this is everybody plus 6 kind of thing, M for mature, and AO for adults only. Now that we've gotten to that point, we can do things like this, and we can show things the way that they were. Oh, you wouldn't get sued. You'd just have to go in front of Congress. And then you'd have to have somebody who doesn't know how to play the video game tell you she heard it from a friend that you could totally do the thing in Grand Theft Auto, that hot coffee was real. But these days, that was my favorite thing, just hearing, have you actually triggered the event, Senator? I'm not skilled enough with the game to be able to get far enough, but I have it on good authority. Oh, her hat's probably pinned on there. She got a lot of hair to pin it to. Zzz. Miss Cammy Meal. Huh? The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough of conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? Well, please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Alright, let's go again. What if it isn't? Who knows how it's up there? It's a mystery. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew, but you'd think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda, too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard and the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Please leave Miss Tenero out of this conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of lied. I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. I think she's so tired because she did a murder when she was supposed to be sleeping. Thank you for giving her Raven's sarcastic tone and nonchalance. Fair. I'm trying to give her the I'm trying to give her the am I asleep or am I just being mean to you? Tone. Like, look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew, but you'd think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. Well, what are you in charge of, actually? Can we get that out of you? And what are you in charge of, Miss Meal? Oh, good. We're still on the same page I am. I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count. But I spend so much time in there. It might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages, so she assists passengers who may not speak English, especially those who speak Virginian. She is the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place? What else could I have meant? Yeah, so I'm really good at Virginian. She's fluent in Virginian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Virginian. Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Virginian. Very interesting. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. All I'm in charge of are the attendance room and some Virginian stuff. Can I just present the certificate here? Like, well, that... Is this enough? Do I have to press this statement too? Whatever, we got full life. Press it. press the button. I have no clue what I'm doing in magic, but it's fun. Yeah. I often have no clue what I'm doing in magic, but I still like it a lot. Fier, what would I be charged for if I was an ace attorney? Identity theft. The number of times you've changed names on me? Identity theft. What about me, Fier? Well, V is for Val does violence. So probably a violence. As for the rest of the team, I can't remember everybody's. Momo's was Emma's for Momo commits murder. Apple's was A is for Apple commits arson. What was mine? Was it forgery? I don't remember what everybody on the team got as nicknames. Still, it was fun.
So you are the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian, is that correct?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad. In Borginia for a while.
If that's the case, then this signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose: to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Meal. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Elif Red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. It's been a bubble blower! Her sleep bubbles have been bubble blowing all the time! She's literally faking sleep! It was fraud. Fier commits fraud. Yeah, that's right. It is exactly as you say.
Are you confessing to have participated in the smuggling?
No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document, but you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There's no direct correlation after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper.
Really? All you did was sign it?
I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So, sorry about that.
It seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight. Oh dear.
Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that. If you were involved in the smuggling, then you would have strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding the smuggling ring. And, just when he was about to close in, he is killed by a member of that ring.
Well, did you ever just stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. So perhaps there is some element of a setup at play in this case.
What are you talking about?
Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First, it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenero who's under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can.
You have no proof that Rhoda's being set up, or that she isn't.
Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all of the blame for the crime onto her, and this evidence will prove my suspicions.
Oh boy.
This proves that the killer was out to frame Miss Tenero from the very beginning.
Oh! Okay, I get it. I'm onto it. Fier, Momo's bullying me. Hey, you're learning quickly. That's what that means. S is for sabotage. Yes, S is for Servita sabotage. Sabotage.
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so?
Look at her! She's pulling on that poor little guy! She looks like, and this makes me giggle, she looks like, you know how those old-timey criminals would just chomp on the cigar? Just, see here, see? Oh, you better shape up, kid, or you'll be sleeping with the fishes. See? She looks like that! But with a bubble blower instead! Luna larceny. I would never do larceny. Grand or not grand. But if I was gonna do something cool, it would be grand. Larceny's not cool, though.
The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenero for the murder. Miss Tenero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whatever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon.
He's on her. Well, he's definitely onto her.
A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree?
Also, if any of you are wondering why Edgeworth was out cold during the turbulence, he passes out when he gets too afraid of things, as most people would. This is not the first time an earthquake or an earthquake-like thing have made him lose consciousness. So, like, he wasn't harmed or, like, clonked on the noggin or anything. He just... Well, he might have been this time, but, like, he would just have fallen unconscious. Yeah, it comes up a couple of times. And you guys saw Turnabout Goodbyes. Like, the earthquake goes off, and he's just, like, bang, under the desk. Like, that, he is not okay when earthquakes happen to him. He has such a severe phobia that, like... And, like, with good reason. He has such a severe phobia that, like, he is not okay in those cases. TBH is one of those times where it's like, it's better you pass out. Yes, people do pass out from the sight of blood. Hemophobia is a thing that happens to some people sometimes. So here's the thing. That we kind of know why hemophobia happens, or at least we have a pretty good idea of why it's probably happening. So the thing is that when you see blood, your nervous system sends the message to slow your heart down and make it stop pumping as fast so that less of it gets out. And it's a defense mechanism. In some cases, the idea is that people with hemophobia just have that response, but it's way overactive. So when they spot blood, instead of the just like slow down, like just a light slow down, it becomes a like, whoa, woozy full stop, practically. Well, not like a complete full stop, you would die, but... Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone like that badly anyway?
That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case.
no, it is where the murder took place, because they're on a plane.
The special circumstance is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found are very high. Therefore, there's no choice but to frame either Miss Tenero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Miss Tenero or myself, but you, Miss Camomile. Only you, and you alone, could be the killer.
Second B, blackmail. And
are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence.
Ma'am, circumstantial evidence just means that it can be used to prove the circumstances. Do you know what else is circumstantial evidence? DNA. We love DNA evidence. People think that's gosh darn conclusive because of CSI and stuff like that. But you know what it is? Completely circumstantial. Calling evidence circumstantial. Yeah, you get me. Calling evidence circumstantial doesn't mean it's weak. Weak evidence and strong evidence is different than circumstantial. Ooh, boy, grumble, grumble, growl, etc. Angry face and such. Wait a minute, I have that. I can just do that. I can be an angry face. This isn't. Listen, lady. Circumstantial evidence doesn't mean it's weak or strong. It just means it's related to the circumstances of the crime. Practically every piece of evidence is circumstantial. I forgot I could be mad about this too. How dare you get me so distracted that I forgot I can show emotions. Ooh, etc. I'm fine, Steph. I'm mad at a fictional lady. She's silly. Okay, fine. Steph wanted me to calm down a little bit, so we're gonna calm down a little bit. Okay, we hydrate as chat demands. Of all the things to make me mad, though. Alright, and a big stretch. Big stretch. Big stretch. You're being bullied. Oh, no. Well, M is for murder. Dial M for murder has taught us this much. Okay. Okay. 1 for body break, for gore. For body break. We got some weights. What am I going to do with them? Oh, yeah. Shoulder presses. So that I can have shoulders. I don't have them. But what if I did? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait a minute. You're not up to no good, are you?
Body break.
Oh, you done spelled out your name, I see. I thought I was being rickrolled here. Oh yeah, right, body break. Oh wait, I'll just, whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ahem. Now the question is, what's the underscore for? I shouldn't let my violent thoughts be known because I might scare people. Well, either way. You should see me playing Splatoon. I will do a violence unto people, but it's paint, so it's less terrible. Anyway, this lady's wrong. And Edgeworth's wrong to be, Edgeworth's wrong to be cowed by that. Come on now. Don't let her do this to you.
I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture.
Yeah, where's the cell phone?
I don't have any actual evidence.
I thought not.
But that's because it went missing, and still is.
Missing? What do you mean by that?
In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on, and that is the victim's cell phone. Francisca, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks' cell phone. Or at least, that's what you told me.
That's right.
But Agent Hicks' cell phone could not be found at the crime scene.
You mean the killer took the phone with them?
Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer.
Come on. Get serious. The underscore represents the bottomless pit of the crimes that I have committed on Stream Chat. Oh, that's too many crimes. So many. I'm done with magic. I finished suffering. Did you at least get to have some fun? I could teach you Yu-Gi-Ohs. There's robot archetypes in that. One of my favorite is Deskbots. There's some other robot archetypes, but Deskbots is one of my favorite. I think I'll stick to Inscription for card games. That's fair. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well?
We won't know that until we try a little experiment, will we?
I know it's simple, but I like it. That's fair. Inscription is a good fun card game. And don't ask about Boba the Cat. Okay. I won't. Staff is getting tired of how many cats I keep anyways. There's only one, but they're getting tired of it anyway. That's because I'm too small to do much. Other than be adorable near her. Is the phone a Nokia? Probably, actually. Given its design, size, shape, and color, and where the buttons are placed and so on and so forth, it's probably a Nokia phone. Also, this game was made in Japan. Probably is. 1v1 me, Fier. Try me, try me. Maybe. Not tonight, though, because I have to be up for work. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Stream's going back to the usual time next week at 9. That is 8 Eastern. In case you guys are wondering. Fier, how do you set the water on fire? Well, there's a trick to it, but it mostly involves phosphorus. And other chemicals that are reactive with water. You can also set fire underneath water with things like iron pyrite, which burn too hot for the water to put them out. Go to the place where there's lots of fracking. That will do it too. Though that's not technically, like iron pyrite, that's not technically the water catching fire. Okay. Well, I plan on giving everybody the Inscription room so that they can play me at Inscription for one of the spooky season nights. Because I think it'd be fun to play other people at it. I'm gonna make a couple of decks and see what I can do. Sub gang for the win! Exactly!
Francisca, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not?
Of course I do. Agent Hicks's phone. It's ringing from somewhere, sir.
I hear it, Detective. Now where is it coming from?
Zzz. Miss Meal, wake up. Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I get sleepy all of a sudden because it sounds like a lullaby I used to love as a child.
I better find that cell phone fast. Where is that cell phone?
Oh, flight attendant's room. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you, Edgeworth. from somewhere in here, sir.
Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. It doesn't seem to be over here.
Well, then let's look somewhere else, sir.
The ringing is coming from somewhere around here.
But it's not here, sir.
Why do I have such a bad feeling about where we're going to find this phone?
The ringing's coming from in here, sir.
What? No, it can't be.
This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir?
It's Miss Tenero's.
Yeah, but her sleeve's sticking out. It wasn't before. Does it get louder? Yes, it does. Spooky Month PFP! Yay! I might make a Spooky Month PFP. I might get Mint to help me out making a Spooky Month. Maybe make a Spooky Me, but I left it too long, so I'm gonna have to dress myself up.
What?
Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to get a... We're gonna have to argue this some more? So, Mr. Edgeworth, how'd it go? Where'd you find the phone?
I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tenero's locker.
What? But... Rhoda Tenero! I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Rhoda Tenero right away. Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenero's locker at the same time. This is related to the keycard, all right. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer... in the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. It's the only voice that sings the truth is the evidence. This is the fun bird we cannot ignore.
What should I do? Francisca's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then. Why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on or in it.
Hold it.
Ooh, a Grim. Oh, and some a Grim Child and a Grimkin. They are called Grimkins, right? Oh, I'd feel so bad if they're called some other thing. You should make a little Spooky Month ping. Oh! Oh! I made costumes for me last year. I showed you guys. I made little costume icons. I did that thing. I bet I could animate them. Yeah, I made a little vampire and a little mummy. I might have made I might have made one or two more, but I definitely did. Oh, maybe I could animate them or add them into the chat rotation for you guys. Like I did with the anniversary one. Yeah! I did it! I have to make a costume for me, though. I want to wear a funny hat. Hat. A crown! Steph won't get me a crown. The original picture on Google says in the corner, there's no meme here. Take my child. Amazing!
Spooky, scary skeletons send shivers down your spine.
Yeah! Next anniversary, I'm going to make a number 2 on it. It'll be a little rainbow 2 candle. And then you guys will get that for a grand total of a day, and then we'll carry on like that. I will add things as I get more followers and more subscribers and stuff. I will be able to add more emotes. So as I'm able to add more emotes and follower emotes and things like that, I will get you guys more stuff to play with on stream. For now, some of them just kind of have to stay in the Discord. Ooh, working on a PFP. Yes, have fun. We used to call those things avies or avatars back in ye olden days. In ye olden days, they were different. Oh, I had to bust that accent out once while I was playing, Botany Manor. I had to bust out the old-timey, like, middle-ish English from before the Great Vowel Shift. That was a lot of fun. I think I commented while I was recording and didn't edit it out that it sounded pretty good. I think I did a good job. Eventually you're going to have to put chat on slow-mo so you can read everything. Someday. Someday I'll put you guys on slow mode. But I don't have to yet.
What now, Miles Sedgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. The LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call with this. This must be the switch that opens the phone. The LCD is broken. Without a screen. When did they start putting keyboards like these in cell phones?
Hey, this is one of those computer cell phones that they started selling recently.
Computer cell phones?
Yeah, it's got a computer in it, and it's a cell phone. Neat, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? Here, I found my first PFP that I made. Ooh, fun! You are my favorite mod, it's true.
That's the SD, that's where the SIM card goes.
No, that's actually the switch that opens it. This model of phone was real once upon a time.
All you need is a phone and the phone part, nothing more.
I'm guessing yours can't even send out email. Talk about inconvenient. It's true. Edgeworth definitely can't send out email or anything like that. This man is technologically behind. There's actually an ad for Ace Attorney, where they are talking about, they're talking about its re-release on the DS. And so Phoenix is like, yeah, I just got Ace Attorney. This is great. And Edgeworth is there like, oh yeah, I've played that game. And Phoenix is like, oh yeah. And it goes on like this. And Phoenix is like Edgeworth's counter arguments are all things like, yeah, well, I played on a Game Boy Advance where the game like exists. And Phoenix's commentary is all like, nuh-uh, objection, you didn't, because you said your system folds in half like mine. And followed by, it's an SP. Followed by, well, but you said you keep it in the back pocket. And Mr. Edgeworth, you should never keep the Game Boy Advance SP in your back pocket. And it's like just a bunch of gags. And I love them. My original branding was meant to be Boba Loving X-Waddle. Oh, cute. You do love a cute X-Waddle loving Boba Bubbles. Boba tea. You know Chester and Norris. I've been feeling really down lately. We can send email? We can send email. Oh, what? You for real? I love that. I know that post exists. Are you going to be playing some of Simulacra? Maybe. I don't think I have the game currently, but we'll see.
Do you have a problem with what I do and do not care for, Detective?
No, sir. As they say, simple is best. That's the battery compartment. Remember when phones had a battery compartment you could access?
Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it. I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of the smuggling? Francisca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures?
Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know that kind of basic stuff, sir. This looks very similar, like a very similar model to my own.
Mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case.
If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. Oh, but the phone's all busted up, sir. Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone.
I'll find a way. Don't you worry about that.
May I go back to sleep now? The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, so that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What?
What do you mean by that, Francisca?
It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. As this phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still on the inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone.
Francisca, your phone, if you please.
Fairfield? It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now.
This is...
Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case. Hey, the Elite Red's nowhere in this pic, sir. But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right? Ouch, she's right. There's not much we can find out from There's not much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks's killer, sir.
Is this it? Is this the end?
Yeah, there is. There's no blood down there.
Oh, wait. And that's Borginian text on the boxes, isn't it? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? So that stuff must have been offloaded. Right? Right?
Yeah, it has to be these, right? Because, like, that's Borginian. For sure, written out. And, like, it must have been... Because we have something in this place, and it's from Zhangfa. That's why we know that the statue was loaded there. Okay, let's...
What's all this?
Oh! They are cargo shipped from Virginia to Zhangfa.
So, the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zhangfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of these boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere.
One cluster of boxes is written in Borginian. It says... It is cloth in English.
Cloth? Could it be? Is this where the killer...
Oh, what? What is this scary face?
Ms. Meal?
Yes?
It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that will point out who his killer is.
Ha! Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of his simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth.
The Borginian cargo and this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer.
Ooh, it's the cloth! The Borginian cloth! How would anyone who doesn't read Borginian know that there's cloth in those boxes to use? They'd have had to use something else. Can I go back to sleep? Exactly. The reason they started sealing my case is so people couldn't get away from crimes they committed by taking out the battery. Oh yeah, of course. I feel like the reason they started sealing cases was so that I couldn't reset my phone by taking out the battery, because a lot of times you can solve a problem by power cycling a piece of machinery. So if you can take the battery out and power it down completely and power cycle it, then you can do things like repair your phone easily. And if they take it, if they take away your ability to do that, then you can't effectively power cycle your phone. And that means that if something happens that power cycling can fix, you have to send it into their repair shop. And especially, especially with situations like iPhone and stuff. They're going to charge you a mint. Oh, sure. People can turn on anything. People can turn on anything like that. You can have location services turned off completely, and like companies can still use them, and also the police. That's why if you're going somewhere and you're going to do a crime, leave your phone at home. If you're going somewhere and you don't want somebody to know where you are, leave your phone at home. If you really, 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 really need a phone, get one of those ones that's like what people might call a burner phone. Those like temp phones that you can get sometimes just to call out to people. Also, I will say this too. Memorize phone numbers. Like, this is just normal things. Memorize your phone number. Memorize other people's phone numbers that are important to you. You may need to know those things. You may not be able to find a payphone, but you can probably find like a gas station or something that'll let you use their phone. And in that case, you can call people who are important even if you don't have your cell phone. Like if you lost it or whatever. Or it got stolen from you, or like anything like that. Listen, sometimes we try to escape the aquarium and aquarium staff finds us because we dragged a phone with us. So we have to learn these things. Yeah, I know, staff, it's a big phone and it was hard to get very far and you probably didn't even need to look at the location on it because I was trying to drag it. And I am 4 centimeters tall and my phone is bigger than that. It was in its case. It was safe. Anyway, I would like to remind everyone that I do a lot of writing. And I write a lot of like science fiction stories and stuff. And a lot of science fiction like detective stories, which means I have to know a lot about how criminals evade the law. Because they have to evade fictional the law. Yeah, that's why I have my aquarium chalk markers. Staff lets me have them so I can write on the aquarium walls. Sometimes when I write on the aquarium walls, they get a little nervous because I'm playing a game like The Room, and they're like, oh no! Those are all chemical symbols. What are you doing? Or I'm playing like Goisha, and they're like, what are you doing? Those are all chemical symbols. Stop that! And I'm like, hi. That's for a puzzle. And then I point, and they're like, okay, are you sure? And I go, yeah. I don't know if it's this puzzle, but it's for something in here. I'm glad you enjoy it. They assume you're going to make a bomb or chemical acid. No. They assume I'm going to open a portal. But we've thoroughly proven that I am not portal opening. I don't know how to do that. I may have tentacles, but that doesn't make me Yog Sahath. Shagath. That doesn't make me the master of all the portals to everywhere ever. I'm not cool like that. I don't have infinite tentacles. You do not want to go in the portal. And if you did go in the portal, it would just lead to Canada. Okay, maybe it wouldn't. But that's where I live. If I went in a portal, I would go here. Or to Iceland. I don't speak Icelandish. I don't speak the language they speak there. Be cool though. No, in Iceland. I always hear good things about Iceland. I do have some French. I'm not bilingual anymore, but I do have some French still. That's why sometimes you hear me say fleur. Fiera, can I go to Canada? I mean, you have to probably get permission. Lots of people have to get permission if they want to come in. Anyway, back to proving that this lady did a murder. And what is that supposed to prove?
The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I finally have found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Zhangfa had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Cammy.
Ha! That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Borginian. There's one right there that says bed sheets.
Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature.
What?
There's no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian, well then. Logically, the killer would have opened this box first.
Bed sheets!
Take that!
Hey, it says bed sheets in English right on the box, sir.
Precisely. And bed sheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say?
So what are you trying to say?
That if I were the criminal, this box of bed sheets would have been what I would have spotted first.
However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that?
The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was in this cargo hold. So they were afraid to leave signs that the box for the sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. Because the
killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zhangfa.
That's right. That's why the Borginian cloth was used. And the only Borginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Cammy. You and you alone.
Just keep going north, Val. You can't really get up and leave. Plus, I'd need ID, money, and other things. Things I don't have. Yeah, you would need a passport, it's true. You did say! You were like, dang, it is her. It's true. Look at her holding up the toy. That's cute. Good breakdown.
It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we would have to do is contact the Zhangfa authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. So what do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zhangfa?
No! He was Interpol? I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. I Val, you can't just ask us to kill somebody because they annoyed you. No. Golly. We finished making all the arrangements to take in the suspect, sir.
Very good, Detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that?
They're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir.
She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye.
Transformers! More than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much.
It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation.
But, truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that, well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation.
That's...
I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it.
No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we here at Go You Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue no matter where you go. I hope he uses that in investigations too. I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir. But boy, was it fun.
Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Francisca?
She's filling out some customs paperwork for her departure.
Departure?
Yeah, Miss Von Karmazer is really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case.
Detective, can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier?
You got it, sir. Francisca! Oh. Oh, well. Edgeworth's ahead of me.
Francisca.
I thought I told you when you first landed. I have no time for idle chatter.
I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met.
I also have no time for such familiar reminiscence. Just who do you think I am?
You're Francisca von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect.
Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing peril, living her life in the name and fame of her invincible father built. That is a type of clown in classical theater that she is talking about. I almost read that as parrot.
True, your father, Manfred von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible.
What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the big picture. They're not technically siblings. I will say that much. Edgeworth was adopted into the family when he was like 5. So it depends on how you want to do that. That said, I've certainly seen the ship written. And I am not a person who is going to argue. Well, he was never technically adopted. He was just taken in. That's different. I am not a person who is going to argue about ships because as far as I'm concerned, characters in fiction are not real people. What you write about characters in fiction is not indicative of the kind of person that you are, nor is it indicative of the kind of thing that you think should happen in the real world. Nor does it indicate that you are okay with the things happening that you are writing. Even if your villain wins. I will say this right now. You are not bound by the Hays Code. You do not have to follow ye ancient code from the 1930s. You are not a Hollywood producer trying to avoid such horrifying ideas as, trying to avoid such horrifying things as the villain wins. Or things like a woman on screen vibrates in communism. Yes. Yes. You are also not trying, you also do not have to avoid communist sympathies. None of you have to avoid communist sympathies. You don't gotta do it. You can have those if you want. You can have those in fiction if you want to. You can write an entire story and be like, dang. You can have a protagonist that's terrible start to finish And the point of the story doesn't even have to have a moral. It can just be like, dang, that sure is a terrible thing that happened there, isn't it? Isn't that messed up, chat? And you can just do that. You can just do that. It's amazing. You're not bound by the Hays Code at all. None of you are. Especially if you're writing for you, or like writing to show like a few people you think are cool. You don't have to worry about any of that nonsense. What are they gonna do? Be like, oh dang, somebody wrote a thing I find objectionable. I find that objectionable. Oh, how dare they? What does that do? Nothing. They're gonna be like, ooh, you wrote such an objectionable thing, and you know what the response to that is when they like tell you to their face? The response to that is, darn. Well, guess it's not for you, friend. But your fiction is terrible and I don't like it. Yeah, that's neat. See ya. Things like, for instance, I don't like Stephen King novels, especially the modern ones. They tend to be extremely formulaic. And I, honest to goodness, find them kind of boring at this point. I used to read a lot of Stephen King novels, and a lot of novels from when he was writing as Richard Bachman. And I really liked those. But the modern ones tend to be like super formulaic and very clearly written to... They feel like they were written with a movie script in mind, if that makes sense. And that's okay. That is for some people. Some people are like, yeah, I want this thing that you said. And that's fine. They're just not for me. And that's one of the things that you have to learn when you're learning, like, reading comprehension and things like that. One of the very important things about stuff like reading comprehension is learning who the intended audience is and learning what you are willing to tolerate. I have seen movies that... Chat, don't do the thing that Listen, I have seen some films because I like to engage in horror media. I'm not even going to tell you what they're called because just know that they always end up on those lists of horror films that are too much and were too much at the time. So like, I've seen stuff that I'm like, whoa, okay, no thank you. I love her that this isn't, Val, this isn't for you. Trust me. I know your taste. This is not gonna make you sick in like a, oh, I'm disgusted way. This is gonna make you sick in a not safe for life kind of way. Like in a, why would anyone ever make a movie like that? Why would they show it to me? I'm getting a pretty good idea of what your taste is. I think I know the things you'd like. Like, you wouldn't like Dredd. I know that you won't, not Dredd, the Judge Dredd movie. But I know that you won't like Dredd, the horror film, because it's not, it wasn't even for me, and I've seen some things. Anyway, moving on. Long story short is, I don't care what people write about for fiction. I had to read Flowers in the Attic. That's just the thing I had to read. I had to read Grapes of Wrath. I don't like Steinbeck. I didn't want to read that book. I read the whole thing. I didn't like it. I wouldn't have read the whole thing because I did not like it from start to finish. What is Flowers in the Attic? Oh, boy. How to explain Flowers in the Attic? Flowers in the Attic is a story about a brother and sister who are very much in love with each other. They, unsurprisingly, live in the attic, where they're kind of consigned to be, is I guess the best way to put it. That's as far as I can kind of say. The rest of the book continues to be messed up. It's messed up along the same lines that We Have Always Lived in the Castle is messed up. Which I also had to read. So, like, don't ever let anybody tell you that for fanfiction for funsies, you can't Oh, Grapes of Wrath is a John Steinbeck novel. It is one of the major pieces of Americana. Yeah, Val, Grapes of Wrath wasn't taught for a long time. There was a time where it was... There was a time when it was taught, and then a lot of people were like, are you seriously still teaching this? This is kind of problematic, don't you think? And it got banned in a lot of places, and it's only just now started to come back in. So there was a point where Grapes of Wrath was just not a thing. It wouldn't have been a thing here either, because I'm in Canada. But we had a lot of weird stuff that we got to read for school. Grapes of Wrath was one of those things. It's not so much the education system changing its views. It's, generally speaking, it's parents and stuff. And society in general is moving in weird directions. And that brings us neatly right back around to, hey, did you know that you can reverse engineer what a society thinks is important and acceptable from what it finds important and acceptable to show and teach to children?
Sounds like a dangerous assignment.
You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself.
Yes, I suppose you can.
Plus, there's another agent on this case with me.
Oh? Another agent?
He's a star among Interpol agents, and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows? You may even run into him one day.
I was simply caught up in this case. I hardly see why we would cross paths.
I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same.
I'm not following you.
You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back. In full. Okay, see ya, Francisca. Well, and just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness, I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip.
Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation.
Ah, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. Oh, I think I'm going to celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight.
Just how much did you cut his salary by, Francisca? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office.
Oh, sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want.
Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francisca von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play, and the players on the other side of this war, they would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking.
Finally. I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through.
And you are? Have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Mr. Amano? Ernest Amano, correct?
Oh, shoot, I forgot to give Ernest a voice. We haven't met him yet in, like, doing the trilogy, but this is Ernest Amano. I feel like he needs, like, a... Oh, gosh. Bear with me. Bear with me, chat. We'll give him a good voice. A good solid voice. His he was friends with Von Karma. We don't know him yet, is the problem. I mean, like, we know him here. Anyway, I'll give him a voice. Let's see. He is an old man. I'm running out of old man voices. Ernest Amano is a businessman. He is a corpulent old fellow with, if I remember correctly, he has, like, great long ears or something. He looks like if I remember correctly, he looks like a Buddha but in a mustache. He mustache you a question. Corpulent. Large. Heavy set. Generally very big. When you say somebody is corpulent, it's because they're really, really fat usually. I would describe the, let's see. Oh, Harkonnen in Dune, I would describe as corpulent. Yeah, a fat cat, as you would say. Yes, exactly. But not like my fat cat. She's different. She's not that kind of fat cat.
Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped.
Oh no! I'm gonna forget that voice like 10 minutes into the next stream we do of this next week. I'm gonna be like, man, what voice did I give the old man? We've done it! The kidnapped turnabout! Ah, I done got bonked! You know what? I should make a... Remember when you just forgot Leshy's voice? Yeah. I don't remember anybody's voices. So here's the thing about people. I don't remember anybody's voices after I give them voices. Because I don't go back and watch my streams again. I don't go back and watch my streams again most of the time. So I just kind of forget. Though I will say, the voice I gave Leshy, I did stop to go back and see some of my, you better not give Poe some annoying heckin' voice, or I personally will be mighty grumpy. Poe, when I actually voice him, is going to have the most computer voice I can muster. I'm pretty good at a computer voice. And I've learned a trick to help make a computer voice possible, which I hope will work. Hypothetically, Poe is going to be very computery and jittery, and hopefully that it'll work, that I can make him be very jittery and stuttery, as if I'm perhaps some kind of computer trying to force my way out of a simulation, which hopefully that does. Gonna level with you. The technique for that isn't complicated. You just figure out where your voice box is and you give it a little tap. I don't know where my voice box is, so I don't know if I can do that every time. Because like I said, I don't have human anatomy. I'm working off a radula here. So I just gotta wiggle funny. Anyway, question for you, chat. Do you want to start the next episode with only 10 minutes left? Or do you want to play, do you want a free watermelon game? Okay. Yeah, I get you a free watermelon. Oh. What's in the gallery? Actually, let's explore. Oh, it may contain spoilers. Oh. Oh, they put the whole the actual. Okay. Okay, yeah, they put a good OST. Watermelon! I see Val redeemed it anyway. I'm very excited. I'm glad that the songs are in there because I like listening to them. Oh, did you know that on the old 3DS, they had a music player that would play songs that you had in it. You could use it as a sort of MP3 player. Okay, but Pierre, didn't you technically give Poe a voice? Well, sure, but that's Poe's voice as a stout. Poe's voice as a wizard is going to be different. Just like Poe's voice as a robot is going to be different. Everybody's getting a slightly different voice for the next act. I'm sure that you all know enough about Inscription to know that the acts get a little bit different. They get a little weird. Oh yeah, the Uberbots all get different. Anything that is a named character gets a different voice. That's how it works. Like, sometimes I won't go out of my way to give voices to, like... Well, like you heard there, like, I don't go out of my way to give voices to, like, the different cops and stuff in investigations because, like, it's the same guy. It's just one very fast, very busy cop. He's doing stuff. It's all very important, I'm sure. Whoa. Ba ba na, ba na na na, ba ba na. Stay where you are. I did it. No, don't you slide down there. Darn it. Well, I did that to me, really. Boink. Oh, come on. We're just gonna wait. I'm gonna be patient. I'm not gonna drop this. I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna learn some patience. I did it. Bunk! Ha ha! Oh! Oh. Anyway, right. Oh yeah, Stream hasn't heard your voice in a good long while. It's true. Ooh, the Metaton! I know what you mean. I love Metaton. 10 out of 10. One of my favorite characters in Undertale. I'd only ever seen the human form before, and I was like, dang. Metaton's in this form for like 5 minutes, and people are really thirsty for it. And like, to be fair. Fair. No! How dare you? Yes! Woo! Oranges! Yeah! Can I get it to move like that? Kinda. I'm gonna be thwarted by a cherry again, aren't I? What if I try to push that one? Oh, that was a much better idea. Oops. Oh! Oh, patience. Come on. I'll just wait. I'll be patient. I was patient! Whee! I'm learning. Kind of. Is it working? We'll see. Come on, roll the right way. Yeah, you rolled the right way. Good work. Get in there. Get in there. You can do it. Patience. Patience is a virtue. Heck virtues. All right, all right. Are we having a moment in chat? Oh no. I don't know the computer guy from Has-Been. The only Has-Been Val. Obviously, we would be talking about popsicles or some other similar summertime sweet. Clearly. There's nothing else that you would want to... Like, what else would you do? Maybe ice cubes, I suppose. But, like, that doesn't seem very flavorful. I guess huskies like them. But they really do more of a champ. More of a munch. Anyway. I will say, though, do love me some Alistair. I've seen a lot of this. I've been Tumblred to most of his scenes. And, like, dang, delighted. Ah! That's okay. We don't usually talk about it on stream on account of it's not normally possible. This is another case of... Ah, come back! Okay, we wait. We be patient. Wah! Okay, a lot just happened. Okay. Is it settling? Yay! Oh. Oh. Ah! I made choices. They weren't right choices, but I did make them. I took a calculated risk, but man, am I bad at math! Oh. Whoa, that is a lot going on right there. Will it work? Oh, it did work! Yay! I will not be undone by that cherry. I refuse. Okay. That's gonna make a peach next. Which is not what I need here. Well, I mean, it is kind of what I need, actually, isn't it? And if I could just get... This is a lot to build for over there. Ah! Oh. Okay. No! Ah! Wah! I'm bad at balancing. Welcome in, Raymond! Something I was gonna say, but I forgot. Don't worry. I understand. Alright. Well, you know what that means. That means that's it for the night, everybody. Whoa!
Body break.
Alright. So, for those of you with me over on YouTube, that truly is the end of the night. For those of you with me over on Twitch, at least they're not spinning, that's true. For those of you with me over on Twitch, we are going to go on a little adventure. Where will we go? It's a mystery. Ooh, I know where we'll go, actually. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Maybe. Oh, actually, we could go visit Retro. Retro's doing a subathon. Okay. Let's go visit Retro. Maybe. Oh, nope. Asleep right now. Dang. Well, then I know where we're going instead. Mal's just starting for the night. No, we're going to visit Mal. We're gonna go see some Guild Wars too. I was doing that earlier. Adventure time! Alright. That is it for tonight, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow for whatever we play tomorrow. Probably Final Fantasy V or something. Alright, that's it for tonight, everybody. Bye!